arrived at the last step for our chart. It's time to do the finishing touch. And this step will help you give the work another boost and create some extra depth. And for that, there's a really nice technique that I'd like to share with you. So, as you remember, in one of our first tutorials, we made a color wheel together. We chose the 3 primary colors and we mixed 3 secondary colors. Now, this color wheel is important for the technique that I'd like to explain to you. If we want to create some extra depth in our work, we will use a contrasting color. And what that means is, if, for example, overall your work has a green tone, like the chart has, you will choose a color on the opposite side of the color wheel. So it's somewhere here around red. Important to notice, however, is that we will be working mainly in shadow areas. Therefore, we will choose a cooler version of the color that we want for our final touch. For example, if you made the red current, which overall has a reddish-orange tone, you would look on the opposite side of the color wheel and you would end up at a sort of green tone. Important to note is that we will be working mainly on shadow areas, and therefore we would like to choose a cooler version of the green as an accent tone. So, looking at the chart, I'd like to point out where we would use this contrasting color most. It's meant for the shadow areas and for the areas that definitely have lots of depth in it or are furthest back. So looking at the reference image, I would say here this area needs some extra depth. It is the leaf that is behind, and using the cooler color it is the leaf that is behind, and using the cooler color we can make it appear further back. Also a little bit here, these shadows are quite deep and can use some of the contrasting color. Also a little bit here maybe, but let's not do this leaf too much, as this one is in front and this one is back. Here at the stem we can use some extra contrasting colors, and maybe here at the bottom, where the lower stem receives quite some shadow from the stem above. So for this deer chart, let's mix the color on the opposite side of the color wheel from green. That would mean a sort of reddish color. Since I want a cool version of the red, I will mix it into a purple tone. So we add a little bit of blue. So here I mix my purple for the job. Let me show you what it looks like on a testing paper. The diluted version is like this, a little less diluted. It's pretty strong, like that. So we take our brush and we use the sharp tip. It's important to work a bit more dry than on the first and second layer. You need some more control over these areas. At this stage, I normally don't look at the reference image as much as for the other layers. Now it's just a matter of making it clear to the eye. It's more a matter of making it clear to the eye, and you can be your own guinea pig for that. Again, if you think your lines are too hard, clean your brush and slightly dry it so that you can go and touch the side of the brush stroke that you just did to smoothen it out. It's always good to take this careful, but remember that at this stage you cannot add too many layers anymore. The paper is quite saturated and won't absorb all the color that you put on. It's nice to see that where you add the purple color, the leaf seems to retreat. I like to add some little triangles at the side oftentimes because it seems as if the leaf curls down there. Just a few shapes. Like that. Let's do the same on the stem because now it's slightly unbalanced. Important to note is that your color is slightly transparent, the lower laying layers, so you will see the lower laying layers through. That is what makes this into a success. Also, for example, here you want it to be more clear that one layer is in front of the other. You can add a light shade of the purple and make this part appear further in front than that part. Now let's give this little leaf some extra as well, but I will work with a slightly more diluted version of the purple, so to make sure that in contrast to this leaf, this one remains lighter. And I only go into the areas that are definitely darker in contrast. I make a couple of shapes instead of clear lines. It's more realistic for the end result. And oftentimes the shapes start from the vein. Again, here at the side I will give a little bit of a triangle to make it appear that the leaf curls down there. Like that, our chard is done. So now you have a finalized work, and you might want to use it to do something with it. I will show you in the next tutorial how to treat a finalized work, how you would frame it, and also how you could use it to make your online own designs.